Hey guys, welcome to Zest to Learn. Today we are going to see an interesting lesson from supplementary reader Sana Sana Haath Jodi, written by Madhu Kankriya. Sana Sana Haath Jodi is nothing but a poem sung to Bhagwan. That is, Bhagwan ko gaane wala ek geet hai. Let's see the English explanation for this lesson. This lesson is a little bit long, but I will give you the complete English explanation with each places as it is in travelogue. Many names of the places will be coming. Keep noting it down. Let's start. This is a travelogue in which people share their travel experience. Here, the writer Madhu, in her travelogue, has touched upon the description of the natural scene Drishya in her journey from Gangtok of Sikkim to Himalayas, as well as scenes in which men and women struggle for life even in the difficult circumstances to live. From this, it appears that the heart of the author had compassion for them. She is sympathetic towards them because of her mind tends to look at the woman doing risky tasks than looking at the beautiful shades of nature. On seeing the city of Gangtok, writer feels that the beauty of sky has been scattered on our ground and stars are twinkling on floors. She finds morning, afternoon, evening and night everything was beautiful. She traveled to Gangtok by train. She reached there and stayed in a hotel for night. As soon as morning dawned, a prayer began to touch her lips. Sana sana हाथ जोड़ी गर्दक प्रार्थना हमरो जीवन तिमरो कैसली. I am praying with folded hands that my whole life should be devoted for the good deeds. So, author has learned this line of prayer song from Nepali girl this morning. She have to leave to Yumthang is a place in the morning, but as soon as she opened her eyes, she ran towards the balcony because people told if the weather is clear, the highest peak of Himalayas can be seen from the balcony itself. Highest peak is Kanchenjunga, but like last year, even today sky was covered with clouds, so not visible. But so many colorful flowers were seen like garden of flowers. Yumthang is 149 kilometers far from Gangtok, about which a driver or guide named Jiten Narge was telling the deepest valley of Himalayas and flower-laden valleys would be found all the way. The author asked, will there be snow? On the way to Yumthang, 108, that is 108 white colored flags were erected in the row, symbolizing peace and non-violence. Mantras were written on the flags. About them, Narge was explaining that here is a great belief of Buddha. Whenever a Buddhist dies, there is a flag hoisted at the holy place away from the city for the peace of their soul. They are removed, they will destroy on its own after some time. Similarly, flags are hoisted for beginning of a new work, but there are colored flags. Narge was speaking, Madhu was looking at the pic of the Dalai Lama in Narge's jeep. The author had also seen the photos of Dalai Lama hanging in the shops. On the way, they saw a Liong stock where the film guide was shot. Narge foretold that about the peace talks and the treaties after a long-standing disputes between the local caste. There was also a small hut on the way. Narge said this is Dharma Chakra. By rotating it, all the sins will be washed away. Then they were slowly moving towards the higher altitude. Nepalis and the small houses were visible on the way. Passing through the narrow path between the great mountains and over the valleys, it was looking as if colorful flowers were smiling and were huddling in the middle of the dense green forest. Seeing this infinite beauty scattered, tourists were singing and enjoying. Writer was calm like a sage. She wanted to observe the whole scene. She would see the summits of high mountains touching the sky from the window of the jeep. Sometimes she would see the beauty of Teesta river shining like silver. Sometimes she would see Seven Sister waterfall. They were capturing it in their cameras. Writer got down from the jeep and sat on the top of a stone like princess, dipped her feet in the flowing water of Teesta river and got drenched inside. She became poetic, touched by the beauty of the river. Seeing this beauty, she felt that she is really close to God. Then the prayer she learned from the morning again started touching her lips. That is Sana Sana Hat Jodi. So the process is like from Gangtok they went to Yumthang. From Yumthang they went to Stock with the guide, and from Stock they will be going to Liong. From Liong they will be going to Katau. Katau is called as in Switzerland of Hindustan. So all of a sudden beauties fell from the mind of the writer. It was scattered and broken as she saw the woman in the hills were breaking stones, sitting on stones. They were carrying spades, hammers of gently kneading, and they are carrying their children tied in the dokos. Dokos is a large basket on their back. Some were hitting the spade on the ground with full force. In the midst of so much heavenly beauty, this battle of hunger, death, poverty, and survival, they are doing maternity services along with the labor practices. She saw a BRO officer, that is a border road organization. She asked him, "What is happening?" The officer told that you are going to see the snow peaks on the roads passing through it. The women living on these mountains are making those roads wider. Author says it will be very dangerous act. That officer said last month one lost his life. If there was any slight mistake, that will directly takes our life. That's when the writer remembered that the board written by Sikkim government. You will be surprised by the beauty of Sikkim, but the people have defined death in making these paths. By remembering the writer's mind changed. She remembered forest of Palamu and Gumla. This is another place not from this lesson. She remembered some other place. She had seen there girls moving from forest to forest in search of leaves, with child tied on their back. The swollen feet of those tribal girls, knots lying in the hands of the woman who are breaking the stones in hills. Both are similar. Both tells the same story of common life of a man in the same everywhere, and all the cream on one side, all the tears, deprivation, torture are on the other side. Then Jiten Narge, seeing the writer inconsolable, said, "Madam, this is common people of my country. You will see them anywhere. You please enjoy the beauty of mountains, not at the people, because you have spent so much money for this." But the writer was thinking in her inner mind that they are not common people of country. Actually, they are the balance of life. They take solitude and return so much back to the society. They were rising towards the peak. On the way, some children were returning from school asking for lift. Athar asks, "Is there no school bus?" Narge tells that they have to climb 3 or 3.5 kilometers to go to school. There is only one school here. Most of the children studying in the school work with their mothers. Then they were moving further. Height is increasing. Roads are getting narrower. Warning were written everywhere on the way. As evening approached, sky was completely covered with clouds. Jeep was passing through the gardens. Young woman wearing boku, that is the Sikkim garments, plucking the tea leaves in lush of the tea gardens. Under the high-rise mountains, there was a small settlement named Liong. She stayed in the wooden house on the bank of the Tista River. She freshened up herself, sat on the stones on the bank of the river. There was a wonderful peace in the atmosphere, eyes filled with tears. Poet felt that any tiny bodhisattva of knowledge began to grow within. Here she felt happiness, peace, unbroken wholeness. Plants, animals, birds, men, all are in their own rhythm and movement. In this morning, Liong, she went to see snow. There was no snow. People said that snowfall is decreasing continuously due to the increasing pollution. They said snow will be found in Katau at an altitude of 500 feet. Author started her journey towards Katau. It was a dangerous path. Warning were written everywhere. They reached close to Katau. Norgay told Katau is the Switzerland of India. On moving forward, snow fell like a ladder of slow soap all around. All get down from jeep, started jumping in the snow with fun. Everyone was taking photos. Author was thinking that our sages must have composed the Vedas in the midst of this wonderful divinity. They must have found a great mantra, Sarve Bhavatu Shukin here. On the other hand, author friend Mani was also talking like a philosopher. These snow peaks are water pillars of whole Asia. Look how is in unique way nature makes all the arrangement. In the winter snow, the ice is formed. In summer, they melt as a water stream and bring water to our dry garages. What a wonderful arrangement of water harvesting. After moving forward, they found an army cantonment which were visible on the borders of China, where soldiers guard at minus 15 degrees Celsius. Writer asked the soldier, he said, "You can sleep peacefully, that is why we are guarding here." Author was thinking, minus 15 degrees Celsius here in the month of Baishak, what happens in the month of Magh when everything freezes up? From Liong proceeds towards Yumthang. They are returning back. These are many flowers, monkeys in the valley. They reached Yumthang. It was pleasure to reach the destination. The author saw a girl selling chips. She asked the girl, "Are you a Sikkimese?" She said, "No, I am an Indian." The author was very happy to hear this. They saw hill dogs on the way. Author friend Mani told, "They don't bark, they only bark at the moonlight night." Those hill dogs. Jitin kept giving various types of information. He showed a place and said that here there is a footprint of Guru Nanak's feet. People say that rice was spilled from Guru Nanak's place, so only the rice cultivation become possible in the hilly areas, which is normally not possible. After 3 kilometers, Narge again showed a place called as in Kedum. 1 kilometer from here, we see there is a god and goddess living. If anyone do anything wrong here, they will die. We don't spread filth here. We worship mountain, rivers, waterfall, etc. Nage explains that Sikkim is combined with India. As per the thinking of the captain Shekhar Datta, it was made as tourist spot by taking out the paths in the valley. Roads are still being built and new places are being discovered, and the jeep starts moving and the story ends here. Hope you like this. Keep watching Zest to Learn and support. Thank you.